What's going on, guys? Zuko back. Another Shadowlands video. Hope everybody's doing wonderful today, and I hope you're playing some WoW. I hope you're doing some Mythic Plus Dungeons because that's what we're doing, baby. What did we do today? We did a Plaguefall. We did a Plaguefall 16. This was actually my key. I tend to join other people's keys, but it was actually my key. Um, and yeah, we're gonna walk through the video. So grab your coffee. Oh, that's hot. Grab a snack. We got the Fox mug today. Yeah, it's still very hot. What build am I running? Let's run through that really quick. We are doing Legacy of the Frost Witch. Okay, so continuing with that, you have to take Storm Flurry, Ellie Assault. I always take Ellie Blast. I think it's just the best one. There's could be an argument for Forceful Winds, but I just like Ellie Blast. And then I'm always going Ascendance. And I know a lot of people run Elemental Spirits to get the cooldown of the dogs, and it helps you. Sometimes you get the Storm Strike dog, the Lightning dogs, which increase your damage. But um, you know, I just think Ascendance is better for your team. I think there's moments when they really need it. That's the legendary. That's the talents. We are still Kyrian. We're still Mechanicos, baby. Nothing's changed here. So we're running Focus Lightning, and then I'm running the Kyrian Vesper Totem Legendary, which you'll see in the breakdown is actually quite good. This is the end of the dungeon. I'm just kind of chilling, but let's get into the video really quick. And there's a couple things I want to talk about right at the outset. Let me move this over here. Let me minimize that and get my notes ready. Okay, so let me just let's switch to the video right here. Let's go full screen. Let's go to this mark here, and I'm just gonna talk for a second. My past self's gonna talk. I think it's interesting when you're like looking for people because you have to go based on like Radar.io, right? Sorry if my mic was close there. You have to go based on like Radar.io, which is fine. It's just that like I don't know. It feels like you're interrogating people every time somebody applies to your key. Yeah. And if they don't have the exact right stuff going on, then you just don't take them, which is sad. It is. But let me expand on that just for a second. So I kind of hate this system right now because of the way it works, because of the Radar.io thing. Like you can't do a higher key unless you get a certain rating, but you can't get a certain rating unless you do those higher keys. So it's like this is just the way that it works, and unfortunately there's no other system right now that is better in terms of evaluating people's ability to do the dungeons, because you need to do that. Like people need to be able to do the dungeons. You need to know that they're competent, or else you're going to wipe every single key that you do. So there's a push and pull here between, I don't want to judge people based on just like this number, but like a part of you has to, because otherwise you're just going to rip every key that you do and you're not going to want to play this game anymore. So it's tough. I think that it would be great if the Radar.io system sort of didn't exist to a degree, but it also needs to exist. So let me know what you guys think about the Radar.io system, and like, is there a better way that Blizzard could do it, or that the third party community could sort of do it? Because there probably isn't off the top, or certainly off the top of my head. But um, yeah, I just think that I wish it was better, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let's continue on with the video. We've got tools. We got a lot of good tools for the key. So the rogue can blind the big slime. We've got the warlock can banish the big slime. The warlock can battle res people, and we have lust with me. And like everybody's stats are looking pretty good health wise. They look like they got really high eye level, which is great. That's kind of what you're looking for. Yeah. This tank, when this tank applied, look at his Radar.io. He has nothing. So I actually asked him about his Radar.io. I was like, "Do you have more than 768 rating?" It's pretty low. And he linked me his alt tank, his main tank. Sorry, this is an alt tank of his. So, anyway, I think it's gonna be fine. I think sometimes it looks like dangerous because you see these people and you're like, oh my goodness, he has 760. I wouldn't even take that guy, right? But he had really high eye level and it didn't really make sense. So I just investigated a little bit, and sure enough, I think he's gonna be fine. So I think that's a really important point, that like I don't know. It's easy to just like autopilot and take people with like the highest rating and with the most completed dungeons, but you should like I don't know, investigate people a little bit if you want to and just see like this guy applied right away when I put this key down and he had really good eye level and I was like this doesn't add up, right? Something doesn't make sense here. So, anyway, let's get into the dungeon. Oh,
Fingers crossed.
there we go.
Fingers crossed.
We're good. We're good.
We're trying to push some keys here.
Let's go to 310. Talk for one more point before the key starts.
Oh, it's different affixes this week. Shoot, I forgot what it was. Bolstering, quaking. Everyone ready? I don't think we have a necro person, so this is going to make it a little bit harder, but that's okay.
So we have lots of tools. We do not have a necro person, but we do have lots of other tools with the group. And the affixes are, as you saw, fortified, quaking. Quaking's the big one, so you'll see that in a minute here. And then bolstering, which bolstering I thought was going to be much more of an issue, and it turns out it wasn't. So here's the beginning of the dungeon. I'm just going to skip ahead to the opening pull. Okay, here we go. The big guy, you need to kick creepy crawlers or whatever it is. You're going to see. He's going to cast it here. Right there. Creepy crawlers. Especially as a shaman, kick that. There's not a lot of room. He puts down these puddles, so like kick that. Really, really important. Other people who have melee interrupts aren't going to be able to hit that, but you can as a shaman. We take out this guy and then we move on. Again, it's fortified, so pulling this guy into the other pack, you probably still want to do it on fortified, but it might be really difficult. So you could just get rid of him really quickly and then go. Again, our composition, we have a sub rogue, so he's going to do a lot of good single target damage, which you just saw. He just funneled there. So I think I tunneled a little too hard there on one particular guy because I did blow Ascendance here, and I was just funneling all my damage into the Fungal Stormer or the Soldier. I forget which one of them, but you do need to tab target a bit better. That's not the tank's fault. You just need to tab target. With all the Wind Fury procs and stuff from Enhancement Shaman, like you will pull aggro on a guy very quickly. You have to be careful.
Oh my gosh, there's no spitefuls. Oh my gosh, that's a bad
I hate Spiteful so much, man. It was just so good. So watch here. I'm about to use Cap Totem, but the monk does his AoE kick, and then I hold my Cap Totem, which is good here. Watch this. See? I'm about to put my Cap Totem down, and I can see that he's done his leg sweep, so then I don't use my Cap Totem. It's very, very important that you don't overlap CCs at any point in the dungeon, but in particular this opening sequence. If you overlap CCs, you're going to get hit by Fungal Storm and stuff. The Rogue does another kidney.
Sundering is so good for... I mean, it's just good in general, but the interrupt is really the biggest thing about it. The interrupt is so incredibly strong, man.
Yeah, most powerful part of Sundering, for sure, is the AoE interrupt.
I've got a stun for this pack here.
So now I have Cap Totem because I didn't use it before.
I have Vesper Totem. We got big damage. It's tough in a pug because you can't organize your cooldowns, right? We just doubled up on CC there, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it goes.
So if you had a group that you could have comms with, then like the monk could just say, I'm gonna ring a piece this, and then I could say, okay, I won't Cap Totem then, or whatever, right? You can organize them better. We happen to have just like an overwhelming amount of crowd control in this composition, which was great, but like you want to be careful. You can't really ever overlap stuff in the higher keys, or you'll just die to something.
You can't always organize when people are going to use their cooldowns.
Okay, first Tormentor. Let's move forward. 6. Here's the first Tormentor. One thing I want to say here is that in pugs, you should probably hold your kick on the fire Tormentor. The worst thing that you can do here is like double or triple kick the Tormentor when he does Inferno, and then the next time he does Inferno, nobody has a kick. So I like to use my kick first because I'm a shaman and I have a low cooldown, but like in a pug group, you can't communicate that. So just hold your kick.
I'll get the next kick.
The
So
monk
the monk
used
kicked
his.
right away.
Yeah.
Gonna use the defensive here just because it does a lot of damage. That's my kick. The rogue's just holding his, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. You should always get somebody to hold their kick, basically, because um, you might double up on kicks, and that's just a huge error.
You'll die. Like, you'll just die later to the Inferno when it goes off.
Let's see what power we get.
So here comes a bunch of AoE, and the bolstering is what we're concerned about here, right? This is when bolstering is a problem.
We'll take the stats.
So he only
Bolstering is really
pulls like a quarter, or like he only pulls like 40% of the
really
slimes.
nasty here, right?
You can't
Very
pull them all
careful.
on bolstering. Just a mistake. Big AoE out of the sub rogue. It's awesome. And then the priest is going wild. Look at the priest. He's doing Boon of Ascendance. I've seen a bunch of priests lately taking Boon, and it's awesome to see these guys just pumping damage. I love it. I really love it. So this is a Kyrian priest doing Boon of the Ascent. The AoE damage is nuts.
We're gonna stun here.
I shouldn't have stun. That was a mistake. That was a bad
Yeah, it
stun.
didn't really
I thought that there was going to be a bunch of bolsters going off, and I was kind of scared,
matter.
but we just had so much damage, it didn't matter.
My bad.
Yeah. We're going to skip past... I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm going to skip past all this.
I
I'll
got
just say
bolstered
that
there, essentially.
everybody in the group, including the priest, was contributing to CC, which was really amazing to see. The priest has like a knockback. I think it's called like Shining Force from the priest, and he knocked back the slimes. You're going to see that later on the boss fight. So let's skip ahead to the boss fight. Glob Grog, that's 955. Let's go, go, go. Right there. And I have Lust. We have everything. We're going to banish slash blind the big slime.
We don't have a slime to get, so
What I mean is we don't... Oftentimes on non-fortified weeks, you'll go down the hill after this boss and go get one of the red slimes to give you the Necrolord buff. We could have went and done that, but we didn't need it. It's not Tyrannical week. Like, you can just burst this boss down. I think it's a waste of time, actually. In certain circumstances. Here we go. Watch our single target damage.
oops.
I threw Vesper Totem into, like, the wilds. I don't have dash here. Big mistake, actually.
It's okay, we have Ascendance rolling, so it didn't actually matter. Got lucky there.
Yeah, it didn't really matter, but it would have been nice to just leap back in. That's why you take Feral Lunge.
We're doing lots of damage. We have really good single target damage, right? If we have our cooldowns up. So it's really huge.
So watch all the tools that we use here on the small slimes. I think the rogue goes and blinds the big slime. Oh, he gets banished. So here
Rogue's
comes
gonna
the small
blind.
slimes. I'm slowing them first. The monk bounces them. Then I cap totem.
I'm gonna try and stun all those.
We're trying to just stop
Slow
them,
them
right,
down.
from getting there. All the tools that we have. Quaking's annoying.
We're gonna leap back in.
The boss is almost dead anyway, because we're just pumping damage. It was really great. The slimes, then they get stunned. They do end up making it into the guy, but that's okay. Then they get blasted
Really
by the
good bounce.
priest.
I don't know who has the bounce. I think it's the priest, I guess, eh? That's awesome.
Like, everybody
Priest has the
used
bounce,
some
yeah.
CC there. Everybody, which is really cool.
It's not tyrannical, right? So
Go back to this. So that's the first boss. Easy. But just all the tools, guys. Use all your tools. I used Earthbind Totem and Cap Totem. Really awesome, right? Let's skip ahead. Um, just give me one sec. Let's skip ahead to...
So this will be a tough pull here.
This first pack, I don't think anything crazy happens here. What I wanted to talk about here was there's a lot of ground effects. So first of all, the big barrel's going off. This big guy does more ground effects, and then quaking also goes off. So it gets really messy in here. See, quaking plus this thing. You're trying to hit the mobs as melee. It's sort of a bit of a nightmare, but you just have to work around it and just watch your
I'm
feet
gonna
at all
slow them
times.
all. Get the slowdown right now.
Um, I'll go to the next section really quick. So this section with the slime. So we kill the big guy and we move into this next corridor here, and this one right here. So like this whole line up in here, when you get all these slimes, you need lots and lots of CC for these guys. We're gonna skip past these two to the next pack. I'm talking about the one on the barrel. So we pull all 5 here, which ends up being okay, but it gets so
I have an AoE
dangerous.
stun here, right? I can
Again,
kinda
we
go
have
crazy in a second.
lots of tools to deal with this. But watch what happens to me.
gonna stun.
I get crippling infection, so I'm rooted. I'm just on the edge of this thing. I get lucky here.
I actually wasn't in that circle. I got really lucky there.
Yeah, that was incredibly lucky. But look at all the casts that are going off. These guys are trying to get up. There's pestilent. There's
Find the
viral,
tab
bloop,
target.
gripping infection. There's like every one of them's casting something. So you need a lot of CC, and you
It
need
is
to make sure.
bolstering, but man, it's so nice not having like to deal with the um the spitefuls.
I
Oh
hate
my
Spiteful
god, it's
so much.
amazing.
I hate it. I hate it, man.
Try to kick as much of this as you can. These guys
So
just do a lot of damage.
I don't know what happens here. I end up dying. We pull all 5 here, which I think is actually not recommended on Fortify, but I think I end up dying here, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's just the stacking debuff that they put on you. The Corrosive Gunk. I have 3 stacks of it on me right now. 4 stacks of it. It just ticks me down. And the priest just isn't able to get to me in time. The priest is doing almost 7k HPS, so it's not really his fault. I just didn't. I could have healed myself. I could have done a lot of things better here, and I didn't. So just be aware of that. This pack in
Yeah.
particular, you need to make sure that you heal yourself, that you kick them, that you
That's a tough
stun
pack.
them.
On Fortified, for him to pull all 5 of those guys together, that's actually pretty tough. But
So we end up dying a bunch of times in this corridor, actually, which is why I'm trying to stress these points. But I'm going to skip ahead because that's obviously super boring. Let's get to the next Tormentor. Um, oh, actually, I'll go to 20. Oh, yeah, 18. Here we go. Sorry. Right here. Next Tormentor.
we're still doing fine.
This Tormentor is the slowing one, right? The ice guy.
You can cancel out the movement speed debuff just by pressing Spirit Walk,
Yeah. Look at our damage right now without
right?
Ascendance.
Just
It's good.
remember
The
that.
single target is just really good, man. It's consistent. You're always doing like 7 to
Walk in a
9k.
circle here to dodge the swirlies.
So that's the point I wanted to make there. You can always use Spirit Walk to cancel out the slowing effect, which helps you to dodge the pools that are on the ground. Really important
Yep.
there.
Good damage.
We just skip ahead to the next part.
We do a lot of interrupts, so we want to be
This is the
getting as
next.
much
This is
value
the
out of that as
strategy that
possible.
everybody kind of uses before the next boss. So just be aware of this. Before you get to the next boss, which is Dr. Ickis, you're gonna run down this hill, and
Do do
most
do do
groups
do do
nowadays
do do do.
will run through the middle.
Or do it again.
Excuse me.
Oh, we're gonna go get the power. This is fine. This is what everybody does now. You go get the power first. Um, I think it's probably the best thing to do because you get more power then, especially
You
on
get
this week
more
because it's
power from
fortified.
the power.
You
What a
want
great.
extra damage for the.
Okay, this is a great breakdown. Here, this is really important. This guy is the hardest tormentor of all of them, in my opinion. He reduces all healing your team receives by 50%, and he does the AoE fear, and then he does the big AoE damage on one person. Plus quaking, this actually gets like really
Mobs
difficult.
for sure.
Watch this.
Stack.
I shouldn't have said that.
I'm gonna drop my totem just in case. Oh, this.
So right there, the fear is going off, but the quaking is going off at the same time. So we need to get away from each other for quaking, but we need to stay together for the fear. So my totem, I think I actually might have saved somebody. I'm not actually sure, but always drop your totem, your tremor totem for this tormentor. For this in this week, if you're doing Mythic Plus this week and you have to deal with this tormentor, this situation is going to happen to you. You're going to have quaking overlapping with the fear. One wants you to come in, one wants you to get away, and like the best situation to have is to say to everybody, I'm going to drop tremor totem. Don't get hit by quaking. Just stay away from each other. You're going to get feared for 1 second and then it's going to fall off.
This is nasty with these two debuffs actually. Oh,
So
the timing of that is so
this is an
nasty.
enormous tool that you have as a shaman to bring to this particular
Because like you
part.
want to stack for the fear, but then you get the friggin' quaking. That's actually so nasty.
So yeah, use your tremor totem
Oh,
on that
just
guy.
touched him.
Really important. Here's the next boss. Let's go to 24.
Yeah, the melee groups this week are gonna be tough, for sure.
This is Dr. Ickis. I'm just going to say a really quick thing here. This boss fight's actually pretty easy for the most part. Um, sorry, I'll skip ahead again. It's not too difficult.
Um, once we get to the first barrel,
So what I'm saying is that I'm gonna lust on the first barrel, which is the general
Hold for
strategy
a
you want to
second.
use on
Go
this
here.
boss. So we're doing lots of damage. This is fantastic. Everybody's pumping really hard. He's gonna jump to the next island. This is where you can use Feral Lunge and Spirit Walk to get there quickly. Lunge in, go to the barrel, pop Lust, and just go.
Lust on this part here. Oh, that's just mean.
He jumps on our head. He does it
Dude, let me kill
twice.
the bomb. Come on. Don't be a jerk. Okay, you're gonna be a jerk.
He's such a jerk, man. Plus Quaking, again, it gets kind of interesting actually
Kill
with
the slime
Quaking.
second. Slime second. Always a slime second.
So that's the only thing you need to know for this boss really is that like you need to lust on the first barrel and then always kill the slime. Unless your team has a way of dealing with it, which we did later.
Wolves, and we have our trinket. We're popping both.
So here you can see this slime is banished by the warlock. So that was our plan now, was to kill the boss, what with the slime being far enough away that he doesn't give the buff to
We
Dr.
actually have
Ickes.
Ascendants as well, which we're gonna pop. So he just banished the slime, so we don't actually have to kill the slime because it's too far away to give the boss the buff.
Yeah, really, really good. That's what you want to do. Either kill the slime or find a way to deal with it, and we had tools to deal with it. These guys were fantastic once again. So let's skip ahead to 26-25. So this pull here, I'm just going to pause really quick. See these two guys sitting over here? You should pull them into this group and then AoE them all down because it makes the next island much easier. This is a defender of many eyes. There's another defender of many eyes on this island. You don't want to fight two of them at the same time. You just want to fight one of them. So I ran out and flame shock them just to get them in. I didn't even ask the tank, but he's a good tank. He was fine with it. The only problem here is that when the slime dies, he puts down a pool that it'll start
We're
to
gonna stun
expand.
here.
It makes everything kind of difficult for melee, but what you could do is drag that slime out and then kill him somewhere else and then kill everybody else together. The last thing you want to do is stun this tentacle. He will grip somebody and it does a
Give
lot
me
of
that of it.
damage.
Don't
He
want to be
can
an idiot.
he can be stunned though, so make
Just
sure you
ranging.
stun the tentacle. Then we run into the next island. I'm going to skip ahead to the next Tormentor. This is Sagidon. This is like the craziest moment in the whole dungeon. I'll show you here. Ready? Let's move ahead to Sagidon. So we're fighting Sagadon with the other two ads that are here, and watch what happens.
Just gonna kill the defender because he's gonna be really annoying, right? That was a good knock-up timing by whoever had that power. That's a great power to take. Oh no!
Look at this! Look at this! All 5 Quakings plus his smash. Oh, what a nightmare!
I had to pop my defensive there. That was really bad timing.
Just absolutely tragic. But that will happen to you.
That was like the worst timing ever. Nice meme, Blizzard. That's funny.
So just be aware that that will happen to you. The 2 Tormentors that are going to be nasty this week is the Fear Tormentor. You need to use your Tremor Totem, and then this guy. I don't even know how to really avoid the damage on this guy. You basically just need to probably pop Spirit Walk. I don't know if Spirit Walk pops the chain. That's actually a great thing to understand. But bottom line is you can pop Rocky plus your defensive. If you have the conduit for Rocky, you get 20% more health. And then you pop your wall, 40% reduced damage taken. You will survive through this. That's really the only way to get through it. Everybody just has to pop their
I
defensives
popped Rocky and my defensive.
because it will happen to you that way and you will get absolutely shreked. So just yeah, just be careful. So I just want to get to the stealthlings and then we'll get to the third boss, then the last boss, okay? 29, 28. So
We
we
got
kill
it.
this first
Nice.
guy. You need to
So
kick.
the sniper is gonna cast Call Venom Fang. I just kicked it right there. You want to kick that every time?
Call Venom Fang. You
I
need to
got
kick it.
bulwark here.
You
We're
have a
gonna go
ranged kick.
Ascendants
So
just to get the damage out. This is Fortify week, so let's get the damage.
I don't know, crash lightning up, spazzing out for a sec there.
popped my defensive just to stay alive because the stealthings are all on me. I was doing a lot of damage. I kicked Venom Fang again.
Yeah. This is how you want to handle this. The knockup power is very good on this dungeon this week. I don't tend to take it because I don't think it does as much damage, but the CC on things like the Stealthling cast or on the Bulwark cast or on Summon Venom Fang, like there's so many things you want to knock up and kick. You can knock up all the Stealthlings, which stops them from doing their leap. Like it's such a good power to take. I didn't take it this time, but you should actually.
Second set of stealthlings. I got Vesper Totem for it. Lots of damage. Yeah, we'll blow them up. There we go.
I skip ahead too far.
Kick Venom Fang again.
Yeah.
Pop Trinket here.
Keep
Big
keep
AoE.
kicking it. That's that. So boss fight. I don't have much to say about this boss
Slow
fight.
Totem down. Earthbound.
I'll just talk for a sec. Yeah, my past stuff will talk here. I had an idea in my head.
So for this one, I thought you could put the Slow Totem down. Earthbind Totem to go get the I'm gonna go help this guy. Did they soak it together?
Help your friends on this fight.
Seems like they did. I'm gonna try Earthbind Totem again, but I don't think it works. No. It does not
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately. Obviously, Cap Totem will work.
Cap Totem works. Vesper Totem works. I believe Rocky works. If you summon Rocky
I think
here,
the monk's probably just gonna go to whoever gets targeted.
I think if you summon Rocky, he does like an AoE taunt, and I think he'll pull those ads out of their webs. I didn't have Rocky up for this fight, but that's something to think about. More tools. Anyway, this fight is fine. Just go help your friends. Whenever they get this circle, go run out to them if the tank's not going to do it, or if nobody else is going to do it. Let's move to 3340. We're almost done. One last little tip I want to show you here before the last boss. For those of you guys who don't know, you can skip this beginning part here
Falling
on
off that plague, yeah.
Icar. So there's Icar. You're supposed to fight him, but you can jump over here.
Okay, we're doing sort of the skip here. If you guys haven't seen it before, oh, gotta get out of that. You can essentially you can skip triggering this guy, Icar, Bilefish. You just run past this little swamp, little poison area. You gotta be very careful though, because it does a truckload of damage.
Yeah.
So, but if you run past it, you won't trigger his like event, which means I'm getting autoed. Which means that he won't start attacking you, and you can just focus him down later, which is fantastic.
So you can clear these two packs, and then you can clear the
Don't
Icar
trip.
pack. It's a lot better.
Exactly. Don't want to trip.
But if you stand in this poison for like 1 or 2 seconds,
Okay, so now we have the last
you'll start taking a dot that does like all of your health. It's
pack,
crazy.
and we get to kill Icar. I'm gonna save all my cooldowns here. Actually, I'm gonna, except for Vesper. Vesper's gonna go. I don't know, maybe Sundering as well. I'm gonna use half my cooldowns. I just lied about everything. We need to do damage,
I just
right?
lied
So,
about it all.
might as well do it. This is Fortified Week.
Okay, boss time. Margrave, let's go. This is the boss that everybody hates. This is why people don't want to run this dungeon.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna lust like P2, I guess. Like this lust is totally up to me. I'm not really sure what they want to do, but we're gonna go here. Pop wolves.
I popped Vesper
I think
early.
I'll save Ascendance for the lust window. That feels actually wrong to me, but whatever.
I should have Vespered here with the ad. That is a bit of a mistake. You can hold it for like 5 seconds, but our team's good enough.
I'm just gonna focus. I'm gonna pop my defensive here. I'm just gonna focus the chick down. Good, we did well there. Okay, that was really good. So I'm glad I saved Ascendance. So I'll have Ascendance up for the P2 lust phase.
So with this boss, the rogue and I both have really strong
Really
single target damage, which is really helpful, right? Because on Margrave, she'll keep doing infectious rain until you phase her. So like you need people who can just funnel really good single target damage. I also don't think I'm going to get to cast Ascendance twice in this fight. I think I'm only going to get to cast it once. It's not Tyrannical Week, so the bosses die a lot quicker. So my judgment there was to say I'm going to save Ascendance for when I have Lust in P2, so we can burst through the P2 window, rather than casting it on pull and then hoping to cast it again later. I don't think the fight is going to last that long. So that's just a judgment that you need to make based on week to week, metrics.
Careful here, depending on which one we get. Okay, we're getting lucky. We're getting quite lucky.
We are.
Nobody got hit.
Here's P2. Lost
We're gonna
Descendants.
lust and pop Ascendance. We're gonna save Vesper Totem for the ad when it pops. Here it is. Vesper Totem, Sundering. I'll get out of the way. I'll get out of the way of these guys. I got my Draenei defensive. I'm gonna pop it right now to heal.
I don't have
Try to
my
cancel
wall,
out some of this damage.
so I
We
gotta use
rephased
something
her
else.
right away. That was really good. Okay, this is the nasty. Oh, it's going this way. Oops. This is kind of the harder, um, especially with Rogue's fine. Rogue has cheat death.
I should have summoned
That's the
Rocky.
nastier version of the tentacles.
Should have summoned
Especially
Rocky
with Quaking.
earlier.
Quaking actually really adds an interesting element to all these dungeons because like you just have no space, right?
Okay, P3, this is stuff. I got Rocky out. Now look at Rocky up there on the top. He's going to hold that ad over there, which is really good for us.
Okay, I have my defensive again. I'm gonna pop it for the rain.
Means we can just focus on doing damage to the
Just
boss.
to give the healer some help. Our trinket's coming back. Now we have to move. Trinket, dogs.
So another plague-bound devoted spawned right here, and my rock guy just picked him up for free. So like, again, in this final phase, when the tentacles are all spawning and the boss stays alive and she's hitting you, and she's doing infectious rain, you don't want to also have to deal with the ads. So like, Rocky is huge on this last fight. You can put him out, and he'll just keep one of those guys busy, so he's not autoing you.
My Rocky is just kind of holding the. He's holding the aggro of the Plagueborn ads, which is actually incredibly nice.
Yeah, it's a really big
And there
deal,
we
actually.
go. We got her done. That's a 16.
So that's it.
Which means I actually have a 17 key now. What did I get? A 17 Theater of Pain. Oof.
So that's good. I'm gonna pause there. We're gonna run back to the gameplay here. So that was the dungeon. Our overall was 6.5. So not like the overall wasn't amazing. It wasn't super great, but that's not the point, right? That's really just not the point. The point is we used a lot of our tools. We used Sundering a lot to interrupt enemies. We used Cap Totem a whole bunch to interrupt enemies. We used our kick like crazy. How many times did we kick in that dungeon? Let's look at this. Miscellaneous interrupts. So the Rogue and I both had 20, right? So it's really good, right? Wind shear, kick. You just like you need to be using these things as much as humanly possible. We used Rocky a couple times, both on this final boss. It was really important. And then earlier when we were about to die on the Soggy Dawn Quaking combination, we were able to pop Earth Ellie to get 20% more health and to use our wall, right? That's this conduit right here. I get 31% more health actually. So it helps you to survive in those moments. I used my Draenei heal a bunch of times in the dungeon, but you can use it on Margrave to heal yourself when the infectious rain's coming down if you don't have Astral Shift available. We use Spirit Walk to help us on the Tormentor that does frost damage and slows you. You can just avoid all the swirls on the ground by pressing your Spirit Walk. There's just so many tools. The first boss we used Earthbind Totem and we used Cap Totem on Glob Block or whatever, to slow down the small oozes so that they couldn't go in and buff the boss. So once again, just really important to remember all the different tools that you have. You know, we have things like Hex, Tremor Totem for the fear on that Tormentor, so that you can just not hit each other with Quaking, and then if once you get feared, it'll get you out of the fear. Very huge, all the tools that we have to make this dungeon work. So that's a 16 on Fortified Week for the Legacy of the Frostwitch Enhancement Shaman. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.